Hello creators and creative friends, welcome to the channel. Today we have something really exciting to look at. I'm going to show you a text encoder and a LoRA for Z-Image Turbo. Both of these tools will seriously improve your image quality. This text encoder is actually quite special. It can take a simple prompt and turn it into a highly detailed, professional quality prompt automatically. Let me show you this workflow so you can see exactly what I mean. You can download the workflow for free, and I'll put the link in the video description below. For this video, I didn't use Running Hub to build the workflow. This specific node is still pretty new. It's not very widely used yet. Because of that, it hasn't been added to the Running Hub platform. However, Running Hub already includes all the other nodes and models used here. If you're not familiar with Running Hub, you can find the link in the description and check it out. There are already many prompt enhancement nodes available for Conf UI. However, this one stands out because it can connect directly to a clip loader node and use a text encoder to improve your prompts. It also works together with a clip text encode node when generating images with Z-Image Turbo. What makes it even more interesting is that it functions as a local prompt enhancement model. For example, I started with a very simple prompt: young woman spinning on a windy seaside cliff. The model automatically expanded that into a much more detailed prompt. It added information about hair color, clothing, camera angle, lighting, composition, and many other visual details. To guide the model, I included a system prompt here. Of course, you can create your own system prompt and customize it however you like. The text encoder I'm using is the Q8 version of Z-Image Engineer V6. You can download it from Hugging Face. There are also smaller versions available, so if your GPU has limited VRAM, you can choose one of those instead. The Q8 version is only 4.28 GB in size. For comparison, the official Z-Image workflow provided by the Conf UI team uses Qwen 34B FP8 mixed as the text encoder, which is larger at 5.63 GB. That's one reason I highly recommended this model. It's smaller, more efficient, and it can enhance your prompts at the same time. Now let's compare the image quality produced by this model against Qwen 34B FP8 mixed. The image on the left was generated with Qwen 34B, while the image on the right was generated with Z-Engineer V6. In my opinion, the image on the right looks better. The lighting on the character's face and body is stronger and more appealing, and the pose feels more natural and dynamic. Let's look at another example. One line in the prompt says, "Dapple sunlight creates moving light patterns across her skin and dress. Volumetric God rays piercing through jungle mist." I think the image generated by Z-Engineer V6 follows this description more closely. The lighting effect is more convincing and visually attractive. Moving on to the next comparison, I asked the model to generate a woman who would jump across a broken jungle rope bridge over a deep ravine. Again, I prefer the result from Z-Engineer V6. The pose looks more believable, and the rope bridge itself appears more realistic. Now let's return to the workflow. If you prefer writing prompts manually, you can enter them directly into this node. Alternatively, you can copy the automatically generated prompt, paste it into the manual prompt node, and make any adjustments you want. Once that's done, you can easily switch between the manual prompt and the automatically generated prompt using this node. Next, let's look at the second group. This is a standard Z-Image Turbo setup. There's nothing particularly unusual here. In a previous video, I shared my recommended samplers and schedulers for Z-Image Turbo. You can find that link in the description as well. I've also connected a LoRA that helps improve image quality. Let's compare some examples. I'm going to show 3 sets of images. All of them were generated using the Z-Engineer V6 text encoder. The images on the left were created without the LoRA. In the first comparison, take a look at the clothing details. I think the image on the right contains more detail overall. The rocks and wooden elements also show richer textures. Let's move on to the next set. At first glance, these images look very similar. But when you examine them closely, some differences become noticeable. The image on the right includes more detail in the clothing. The character is wearing additional accessories, such as a winter hat and gloves. Her boots also look more realistic. In addition, a wooden fence has been added to the background, making the scene feel more complete. Now let's look at the final comparison. When viewing these images side by side, it becomes clear that the image on the right contains more detail across almost the entire frame. For example, there are more accessories and equipment attached to the character's outfit. The drawing also shows noticeably richer texture and detail. That's all for today. If you'd like to download the workflow and the LoRA, be sure to check the links in the video description. And if you found this video helpful, consider subscribing to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.